What's up, Pirates? Wraith and Jim here with AwakenedTCG, and today it is finally the day. OP06 cards have finally released on the Asia website, the official website for Asia. And so, one thing to note is we don't have the alternate arts yet on the website, which we'll go over on a different video. So stay tuned for that. But for now, we can go over all the base cards and kind of finally see what we're gonna get into for OP06. So let's go ahead and get right into it.
All right. Our first, and I think this is the only red leader this set.
Correct.
It is going to be Uta. Another Uta. Thank the Lord. We definitely need another Uta. But anyways, let's get into the effect because I'm actually kind of excited for this card. It is going to be a typical 4 life, 5,000 power leader with dual color, purple and red. And its effect is going to be when attacking, you can discard one film card from your hand and then give one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000, and then you also get a rested Dawn from your Dawn deck. So ramping you one for free, no Dawn investment, just trash a card, and giving minus 2,000 power when you're swinging, which makes swinging into 5Ks very easy if they have one rested on board. You can just swing into it for no Dawn investment, 2 over, ramp a Dawn for your big bodies later in the game, and yeah, just a super solid leader. I think it's going to be really strong.
Yeah, definitely leaning more towards that kind of control with the effect, but you also get to ramp, right? So you're going to be playing faster, which honestly is what they've been leaning towards a lot since I guess that is a more of like a purple effect, and so the leader is purple. So you kind of have this control ramp style kind of deck, and so it's going to be interesting to actually see because the effect is solely being able to be used with film cards. So you're obviously gonna have to play a film deck with this leader, but yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting, and I'm super excited to try something like this.
Yep, let's get into the next card here. We have Ena Zuma. He is going to be a 4/5 with 1,000 counter. And the card is going to read, if it has 7,000 power or more, it gains Banish. So, also Revolutionary Archetype. So this is just more support for Sabo slash Bello Betty.
Willow Betty, yeah.
Yes, mostly Bello Betty. Just, you use Leader Effect, this character gets banished, which I don't know if you're going to be playing this at Bello Betty. You can actually play it off that Ivanov, so I think this might actually be a really good card in that deck.
Yeah, it seems solid. A 4/5 is not the greatest stat line, but the effect is really powerful, and especially going into yellow, this is that you can definitely count on this to see some play.
For sure. Next up here, we have another Ivankov for the Revolutionary Archetype. This one being a 5/6 with no counter. And its effect is going to be on play, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and play any Revolutionary Army character with 5,000 power or less. And then you put the other 2 at the bottom of the deck. But basically, I mean, this is kind of weird because, Bello Betty and Sabo, they don't have any cards that can actually order the top of the deck. So you're kind of just hoping. But I don't think it's bad by any means. So
Yeah, if you hit, I think it's an amazing card. If you don't hit, I mean, it's still a 5/6, which is decent. It's not the best, but definitely not horrible to where like, oh, I don't want to play this card. I think you could definitely still see something like this in decks.
yeah, for sure. Not bad. I think the no counter might make you not play this card, but we will see. Next up, we've got Baron Omatsuri. He is going to be a film card, 2 cost, 3,000 power, with a 1,000 counter. And on play, he's going to make 1 Lily Carnation from your hand onto the board. So basically, he plays Lily Carnation. We will see what that is in the future, but can't really talk about this card until we see Lily Carnation. Next up, we've got Gaspard. Honestly, not sure what movies is from, but it is a film type character, and it's just going to be a 6/8 vanilla.
Yep, nothing much to say.
Yeah, not
Film
much to say
archetype,
there.
former Navy.
You are ramping in Uta, so maybe I could see you playing this like how Purple Luffy plays the 7/9 Urashima, kind of with the same vein as that, but we will have to see. Next up, we've got Saga. Saga is a 4 cost, 5,000 power with 2,000 counter. So this is a 2K counter, and it is a film card, which makes it a searchable 2K for this archetype. And it's going to be Dawn X1. When you attack, this character gets free 1,000 power until the start of your next turn. So 1 Dawn on this guy, you're swinging 7 instantly, and it is a 6K on their turn. And then at the end of this turn, you can put 1 character with film into the trash. So, and that is mandatory. So you do need to get one of your film type cards off the board. So, however, if you don't have one, the first effect goes off, and if this is the only card on board, oh no, he actually would get rid of himself. Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of like Orlumbus in that aspect. Kind of interesting. I'm not really sure. It is a 2K, so.
Yeah, it's a 2K. I guess maybe if like that's all you have, and I mean maybe you can run it as a 2K, and then like in a situation where like you know how some people play Jozu's just because they need a body on the board.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely not the best 2K effect, I will say, because usually 2K counters have pretty decent effects for red, and this seems a little lackluster.
Yeah, and if you're playing this, if you're playing Uta, you're just playing Buena Festa and other stuff like that. I'm not sure if you're playing this.
Yeah.
And next up, we've got our first red SR. It is going to be our first 10 cost Shanks in the game. The typical 10-12 stat line with no counter. And very simple effect, but very strong effect. It's just going to be on play. You can KO one of your opponent's characters with 10,000 power or less. Yeah, fantastic card. Like if they played something on 9, like a 9-10 or something like that, you can play this guy the next turn. Boom, pop it right away. Or even if you're both on 10 Dawn and they say they play like a 10-12 Big Mom, you can use leader effect, right? Swing for free, give that Big Mom minus 2,000 power, play this guy, boom, pop the Big Mom, and yeah, you are basically set for that game. Great card.
Yeah,
this can be great in this archetype. Sorry.
Yeah, great card, great effect. The only card that does, or the only color that does kind of negate this is obviously the black, because they have characters where you know you can't be KO'd, but other than that, yeah, I think this is a fantastic card.
Yeah, I mean, and there's still characters in a lot of black decks, like your 4-cost Kuzan, even 10-cost Kuzan. 10-cost Kuzan is a literally perfect target for this this card. So, yeah, 100%. Probably I could see this going 2 to 3 in a deck. Maybe not 4. Next up, we've got Schneider. Schneider is a 3/5 vanilla with film. Nobody's gonna play this. I already know that. So.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Shuda. It is a 3/4 1,000 counter. This is an SR, so this card's actually very strong. It's going to be a blocker, and when attacking or when blocking once per turn, this character is basically going to match the power of the opponent's leader. So you can play this on 3. Say you're playing against like a Whitebeard. You can literally on the next turn just swing raw and he goes right to 6 until the start of your next turn. So basically just turning himself into an immediate 3/6 against 6k leaders. Also, not to mention, if your opponent say attaches 4 Dawn to their 5k leader, swings 9, you can literally just block with this card. He turns into a 9k because their leader's 9k and give a 1k. This card is insane.
Yeah, this card is really good. Obviously, the counterplay to it is swing once, make them use it, and then it's a 4K, so then you can just get rid of it. Or if your opponent decides to swing with it, then on their turn, it's already rested. It won't get its effect. But still a super strong card. Yeah, I'm definitely, if you're making a film deck, definitely run this card.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. Next up, we've got another Douglas Bullet. This one, very interesting. It's going to be a 6-cost, 7,000 power with a 1,000 counter. And it's just going to read, if your leader has film, this card is going to have blocker. So in any film red deck, this card is going to be a 6/7 blocker with 1,000 counter. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the cheapest 7k blocker in the game. As we only have, Starter Deck Kid and the Luffy, I think, are the only 2 7k other blockers. And they also don't have counter, and they're both for 7. So, very interesting card. We'll have to see. This, I honestly have no clue. This card could be good, it could be bad. I'm not going to make any calls on this card because I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Tot Musa. It is a 5/6 1,000 counter with the film archetype. And it's going to be activate main once per turn. You can rest one of your Uta cards. So this could be your leader or this could be one of your characters on the board. And then this character is just going to get 5,000 power for the turn. So a 5/11 if you rest one of your Utas. If you're going for game, yeah, this card's getting plus 5,000 power for free. So seems pretty decent.
Yeah, very solid. Very, very solid. I think since it's red, I think the only Utas that are available to you in this deck would be leader or the 4-drop Utas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, there's all. I mean, there's a couple of other weird Uta cards, like the one from set one that grabs a, I think it's like a 3 cost or less from the trash film card. Who knows? We
Ah,
might see a
yes.
resurgence of that. Like, there's a couple weird ones like that.
And then the oh the purple 8-cost one.
Yeah, you're not. I don't think
Obviously,
you're
you don't
resting
rest
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely if you're swinging for game, I think it's way better to instead of going 5-6, you just go 10 or 11K, right?
For no Dawn, mind you, right? So
Yeah, so that this is definitely
disgusting.
a card that can, threaten lethal for
Yep.
sure.
Kind of slow, and I think it's only going to be good for that threatening lethal. It could also threaten big bodies, which isn't bad. We'll see if this card is played. It seems kind of slow, but does not mean it's going to be bad.
Hmm.
Next up, we've got Bear King. He is going to be a 5/6 with a 1,000 counter, and he's just going to read if your opponent's leader or character has a original power with 6,000 or more, he's not going to be able to be KO'd in battle. So basically, if you're going against Whitebeard, this card's always online. Any other leader, besides obviously Red Purple Luffy, they have to have a 6K or higher character on the board. And then this guy can never be KO'd by battle.
It's decent.
Yeah, seems interesting. It's kind of like the Shiki effect. If we're in a meta that doesn't have a ton of removal, I could see this guy being good. But obviously, Sakazuki's a deck, so I don't really see this card getting played.
Yeah, for sure. It's getting bottom decked as soon as it touches the board.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But you never know. Maybe some decks will take Sakazuki out of the meta and this guy will see some play.
Mhm.
Next up, we've got a new red searcher, Monkey D. Luffy. He's going to be a 2-cost 3K searcher with 1,000 counter and the film archetype. And he's just going to have trigger. You can just play the card. Very strong. And he's going to be on play. You can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal a film type card, add it to your hand, rest of the bottom. So he searches top 3 for film for 2. Obviously, 1-cost searchers are better than 2-cost searchers, but he does have a decent trigger. You're going to be running Buena Festa already, but maybe running like 8 searchers in this whole film deck would be really good.
Yeah, I mean, uh, aside one of Festa, this is uh the second film search, right?
Yes, because the other one
Is
is
Nami.
in green. Yep.
So yeah, being able to honestly run a with double film search feels kind of strong. Consistency wise, right?
Uh-huh.
I definitely like this 2-3 over the Buena Festa because the Buena Festa, it always feels bad to play it when you don't have anything else because you're also getting rid of a 2K, right?
Correct.
But yeah, this card is definitely going to be a 4 of in the Uta deck in my opinion.
No doubt about that. Another card actually, if people are going to start replaying that 4/4 Uta from set 1 that grabs a 3 from trash, you can grab this and search again. Seems not bad. Next up, we've got Ratchet. He's going to be a 1-cost 0, so he better have a strong effect with 1,000 counter and film. And it's going to read on opponent's attack, you can discard any number of cards from your hand with film. And then for each card you discarded, basically your leader or character that you're countering for is going to get 1,000 power. So when this guy's on board for 1, he's going to turn any of your bricks in hand, like that 10-cost Shanks if you don't want it, into a 1,000 counter card. So basically when this guy's on board, you have no bricks at all. Which seems good, but obviously he's very, very removable.
Yeah, it's something like it's one of those situations where it's like a machina you want to keep in hand for end game because if you need to go for game, you play this, attach all your Dom for that last swing, and then if you have any extra cards, you just pop them out.
All right, next up, we've got Lily Carnation. Lily Carnation is a 4-cost, 0 power with a 1,000 counter film card. So it better have a very strong effect if you're going to be paying 4 for a 0. But it is going to read activate main once per turn. You can place one of your characters with power 6,000 or more into the trash. This is from board. This is not from your hand. And then you can play one of your characters with film from the trash onto the board from a power range of 2,000 to 5,000 on your board rested. So this card is literally terrible.
So you trash a 6,000 or less, or more, 6,000 or more, and you get a 2 or 5K from trash played rested. Yeah, that sounds terrible.
it just doesn't make sense. I don't know like what this is doing for you really.
Maybe we'll read the rest of the cards and then be like, oh, maybe you could use it here.
Yeah, I don't
But
think so. From what I've heard, this card is just complete, utter trash. But
yeah.
it is a common, so I wouldn't be surprised. Next up, we've got Raise Max. Raise Max is a 1/2 no counter film card with literally Gordon effect. It's just going to be activate main. You can put them at the bottom of the deck and then give one of your opponent's characters minus 3,000 power for the turn. So another Gordon. If you liked Gordon in your deck, boom, you got 2 more. Very good.
Yeah, I mean, Gordon's an amazing card, so this is basically just a pseudo Gordon. They both play for 1. Yeah, amazing card.
100%. Next up, we've got Meteor Strike of Love. It is going to be a 2-cost event. On a main and counter, you can use this card, and it's going to be add 1 card from your life to your hand. And it's going to be up to one of your leaders or characters gets 3,000 power for the turn. So this is making your leader, if it's a 5k, it's making it an 8k for the entire turn. So your opponent swings 7, boom, I'm at 8, and now you basically can't swing at me anymore if this is early in the game.
Yeah, this seems pretty good in theory, but I feel like Red has a lot better events to really run.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess for the turn can be a lifesaver in certain situations.
Yeah, it can 100% be a lifesaver. Like, if you're playing, like, 7-cost Kid in this Uta deck, and then you, like, play this, oh my god. Speaking of, this is going to be really strong in Red-Purple Luffy, but you do have to remove a life. I don't know. The cost is pretty big. I could see it being played in Uta, maybe. It is a searchable card, but we'll see.
Yeah, for sure.
Next up, we've got Gomu Gomu no Great, what is this? King Kong Gun, I think it's... Oh, no, it's Kong Gatling. Okay. And it's the 2-cost main event. And it's going to be give one of your leaders or characters 3,000 power during this turn. So it basically pays for itself and then some. And then after that, if your opponent has a character with 7,000 or more power, one of your leader or characters gets another 1,000 power. So you can basically, if they have a 7k, go pay 2, I get plus 4k, which is insanely strong.
Yeah, it's like, you know, there it's a mini King Kong gun, right?
Yep.
You only get 3,000 unless you meet the requirement, but still, even 3,000 power for 2 Don is pretty strong.
Yeah, no, 100% going to be really strong, and it also has a trigger where you just KO a 5,000 or less power character, which is always good. And last but not least here, we have Blue Dragon Seal Running Water. Not sure if that is what it's going to be in English when it actually releases, but it is going to be a 3-cost main event, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 5,000 or less. So, kind of like a mini jet pistol. Honestly, I don't think anybody's going to play this.
Yeah, I feel like the cost is too high, to be honest.
Yeah,
Because jet pistol is that sweet spot where you can get rid of a lot of units in that 4-6 range.
Correct.
That 6,000 power, or like even 9,000 power with Gordon, or 8,000 with Otama. I feel like this is just kind of like in that in between where it's like it's too low for how much Don you're paying just to get rid of a 5,000 power unit.
I mean, to be fair, Uta minuses 2k every single turn, so this is basically a 7k for 3. Like, I could see you maybe playing this in Uta, but wouldn't be surprised if you didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, that is going to be all the red cards for OP06. I think, honestly, this archetype is going to be pretty strong with Uta. Just the combination of ramping and minusing power every single turn for free seems really strong, especially with a lot of the support here. But we are going to be going over color cards from every single color. This is why we didn't cover when new cards got revealed, because we like to do more full overviews of every color, because when you cover certain cards, like, they don't give you the full picture if you don't have their support, because you can think of cards, you know, really bad if you don't know about another card that makes that card really good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys are ready for OP06. Green will be next, coming tomorrow, so please stay tuned. Anyways, you guys have a great day. Peace.